Guys, welcome to Comfy Cozy Up. So let's get into some books. So for Black History Month, I want to read a lot of books. So I have a lot of books on my TBR. Am I going to be able to read all of them? Don't know, but these are the ones that are catching my eyes. There's the one that's on my long list of books. Like if you watch my bookshelf video, and I added 2 shelf at the end, and the 2 shelf at the ends are unread books, so which is like way over 250 books. I lost count after a while. So I'm gonna start with the nonfiction. The nonfiction we have is Melanin in Movies, and this is Harold Jackson. It is a debut, but I wanted to read this when I got it. So, you know, this sounds very interesting. Hollywood, talk about the movie scene, black people in it. It is short, so I don't know how much information he's provided. James Baldwin, I have not read anything from him recently. He is one of my favorite authors of all time, and this is The Devil Finds Work. So it's a short one. Want to get into it. Library. I have one library book that I pick up. It is The Reformatory, and this is a book that I heard a lot about. It showed up in quite a few people's favorite books of 2024. It follows young black boys in a reformatory school. So I just imagine it's going to be a heavy read, but I'm here for it. It's probably going to be one of the first one I read, only because it needs to go back to the library at some point. Then we have a classic, Ann Petrie, the Country Place, and this is giving me a man coming home from being in World War II and hearing gossip about his wife, and she may have some infidelity issue, so all hell gonna break loose. This gives me drama, but also gives me probably painful moments in this. I need a little comedy because Mama Ruby, Mary Monroe, I even was cleaning my shelf and I was like, wait a minute. 2 of my favorite, which I put on top here, is from the author, and I have not read Mama Ruby's story. I read The Upper Room, She Gives Hell, but I want to read this. So, and I feel like I'm going to laugh because she has a way of writing this character where she can be brutal, but she can be very funny. So yeah. This is a book I got from when I went to Brooklyn Book Festival and I met the author. It is signed, and I wanted to read this. Yeah. And it is a debut from her, and it's a historical fiction, and it follows some families. So I know about it. This is going to be interesting as well. I also see it all over when I'm going to the library, and I'm like, oh yeah, let's pick this up. So I'm looking forward to reading this and sharing my thoughts. And then, of course, we have a Harlem Renaissance. I'm running out of Harlem Renaissance books on my shelf because I've read pretty much all of them. There's only 3. There's a short story collection, and then there's 2 books that I just don't like the copy, and I wish they would put it on ebook. But this one, I have an ebook of this as well, and even though the font is not my favorite for these kind of books, it don't do nothing for my eyes, guys. But I am going to finally get into this because I've been putting it off. And it is, you know, Jessie Redmond Fawcett, and she is the queen of Harlem Renaissance. And there's also a book that I want to read that I did order that comes out the first week in February, and that is Harlem Rap City, I believe. I put this here, and this is basically talk about this woman. The thing about that book that everybody's talking about and certain things, that the reaction they having from that book make me want to read it, but at the same time I'm like, clearly people are not reading the Harlem Renaissance or reading about the authors that are part of the Harlem Renaissance, because a lot of that stuff is not shocking. It really not. But nevertheless, I'm gonna get into this, and this is also one of those she tends to write young characters and life, whether it's their family or matters of the heart, that kind of deal. And she tends to not write it in the Harlem Renaissance. Her books are usually like in Jersey or Philly, some kind of, but it's really ever in New York. But this one I believe is in Jersey. So we're gonna read, you know, China Berry Tree, and see what she wrote for this one. And I do have the, I think I better have it because I believe I believe I had downloaded maybe 2 years ago. I just never got to it. So that will be, let's see if I do have the ebook. This will be bad because I do not like this copy. Yes, it is in my library, so I do have the ebook for this. So that's, yep, and it just downloaded. So I do have the ebook, so I will be reading this on my Kindle, mainly on my Kindle, but I think I want to try and see if I can make it through this font, because I have 2 other books on my Harlem Renaissance I really want to read. But anyway, and then of course Isaac Song, and that is by Daniel Black, and it's one of my favorite. This is a follow-up to one of my favorite book I read back in 2022, which was Don't Cry For Me, and I love that book, and that book was such an emotional read. You know, girl with a daddy issue, and just to think the year later my father passed, like, wild. So I'm going to look forward to reading his point of view from the son and see how that works out. But, and then, you know, there's Read So Lit that's happening as well. I do not have the calendar for what she's going to be doing. I'm sure she's going to announce it soon. It might come out before this video, I'm not sure. I think one of these books is, I don't know, I'm hoping it is a book in here that that I think was talked about that potentially was the group read. If not, that will be added. I will do the jar in a different video because I don't know what's going to come out, and the jar might not be an African-American author. So whatever comes out of this jar could be, could not, I don't know. But I will pick the February pick at some point. I'll just do a short. And that's it. Let me know if you're planning on reading any of these books for Black History Month, and what kind of things that you are looking forward to get into for Black History Month. And I will see you in the next one, guys. It is the time is moving, and I'm actually looking forward to February because January is too long. So I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. All right, guys, bye.